Okay, so we seem to have a situation between Deme and ChibiReviews. Deme posted this tweet, and ChibiReviews kind of got huffy puffy about it, and Deme got kind of huffy puffy back. So I just want to go through and see what is happening. This seems to be the tweet that started it, from Deme. It says, "Hey, just a reminder, I'm extremely uncomfortable with NSFW art of me. Completely valid. Nothing wrong with that." They go, "But why did you make your VTuber look like that? Just cause I like sexy or hot things doesn't mean I want to see of it. Quote, it's just a VTuber, who do you think of when you see it?" So, making the argument of even if they have as their VTuber model, they don't necessarily want people doing explicit NSFW art of them. Totally okay. And then they also clarify, "I just feel like there's so many other content creators who'd love to have artists drawn in that way, and it's a wasted effort towards me. But I'd like to make this clear, I'm completely okay with stuff. I love the hot women, I just don't like." So, clarifying a boundary there. And then ChibiReviews saw that tweet and pointed out that she had reposted some NSFW art right above that. Now, this was the exact type of NSFW that she said she was comfortable with having of her. So there's not necessarily any problem with this. However, apparently her response to this was not so elegant. We have some screenshots of what they had replied, which is, "Wait, oh my god, aren't you the guy whose fiance literally cheated on you and your whole friend group sided with her? LMFAO." Less than elegant. Not a good look. Not a good look. It was definitely something that was not great to tweet back. Yeah. PR probably was not happy with that. And so ChibiReviews kind of recaps the situation of, "I ask why she's retweeting NSFW art of herself despite being upset people make NSFW art of her. Avoids answering my question by personally attacking me and cheering on cheating to deflect. Since we are shit-slinging, is it true you got back with your abusive ex?" Also, not a great response. You have the ability to see a problematic response, and to respond like an adult. Kind of L's on both their parts. So, people are going a little bit back and forth about something that Chibi seems to have done. I'm not in the loop. Not sure of what happened here. But it seems to be a pretty big issue. Maybe that will bro. I don't want no. Chibi once again tweets out, "Once again, I got a big creator to go mask off and cheer on cheating. Interesting how they always go to personal attacks instead of answering my question. They know they got caught." This kind of feels a little bit rage baity at Deme. Not really sure of why people are trying to start shit in this day and age. There are ways to handle things like this maturely as adults, like they are, you know? I will say this person posts quite a bit of NSFW. They might be a little bit biased on what they're saying here. Additionally, they seem to take part in a lot of drama. So Deme goes on to state, "Was it right to do what I did? No, but I never pretended to be a role model whatsoever and openly hate other people, so who's surprised on that? To the people bringing up what happened with my relationship in the past as a blow, we practically moved on from it too. If you actually watch my streams, he's on it all the time and we're happy as fuck just taking a break from streaming in Japan. I've never hid that whatsoever. To the people who think I'm not a good VTuber, never did the norm, and I don't plan to cry about it. She is taking her stance. She is defending her position. I don't know what this person has done in the past. I don't know if they have some like other things that they have done that have not been so good. But in this particular situation, I don't disagree with her. Her original stance was not something negative. It was not something bad. It was a reminder to people that, hey, I have comfort levels. Try to stay within them. And I'm not really sure of why ChibiReviews is like going so hard on that. Deme comes and back and she says, apparently she was in Japan while this was happening. What I meant by NSFW, since a lot of people are confused, I'm okay with lewd, never have not been okay with it. I just don't like seeing people to me being a that's nothing new, and I've never been nice to people I don't care about / respect. Y'all are so bored that someone that just doesn't like made you personally get riled up. I just genuinely can't really care. If you don't want to respect it or even try to see what I meant, I see no reason to be respectful remotely to some losers. I'd be lying if I said I was sorry. To add to this, I talked to my community about what people are saying. I was confused with some people calling me a hypocrite. I do advocate mental health for women and men. I, however, do not care about chibi. I made the mistake of saying the first thing that came out of my head when seeing his username, but I should have been the better person and said nothing. I've learned to hold my tongue in most things, but I legit got surprised seeing the username and the association with it. For people who think I'm backpedaling, no. I'm sorry for slipping up and not thinking before talking, but I'm not sorry for what I said. To be honest, to be honest, especially that it was towards him. He's a piece of shit and everything about him is disgusting to me, not because he got cheated out on, but because he's a weirdo in general. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of get that vibe from his tweets. It's a lot of NSFW, and I understand that social media is kind of like your homepage, you get to do what you want on it, but when you present that is what people are going to make their impressions off of. Certainly not my kind of person, but I don't have enough information to make a proper judgment on them. For the original post, I didn't make the post for people to delete art of me, I just did it as a reminder of my stance, which hasn't changed. It annoys me that people have the time to scroll on my page, but not to take the time to literally read the OG post, and that reply not an hour after specifying what I exactly meant. So yeah, it annoyed me when all the blue badges came crawling in. My bad to my community for getting into drama again. I know I'm not losing anything valuable when it's this type of crowd. Pancakes and waffles. Also, I'm not stupid. I know me saying my stance on the isn't gonna stop people from doing it. The post was for people who cared about my stance. I agree with her, actually. I personally am not particularly comfortable with people making NSFW art of me, especially because I based my VTuber model off of me personally. Is a little weird. I would prefer people not do it, but I also know that people are going to do what they want to do. So maybe just don't tag me. Cool, thanks. Luckily, I am small enough that I don't have to worry about that yet. And I shall treasure the time. Notice, okay, wait, this is actually kind of going on what I'm noticing about this creator. Notice the pattern yet. ChibiReviews alternates between rage baiting and sympathy baiting every few months. He's moved on to targeting VTubers now. First it's Deme. Once the dust settles, it'll probably be someone else. So Chibi apparently made a video stating that Deme attacked him, which I will watch, but I'm not going to include just because I don't want to deal with that potentially being an issue. So something that Chibi talks about in his video is this artist here. So he said that Deme asked this artist to remove the artwork that was posted by this person. It was NSFW art, I didn't see anywhere in that video that Deme had asked this person to remove the video, or I'm sorry, to remove the art. So I want to look at this real quick. I feel like I have to address this now because I've been seeing gimmick accounts, drama tubers, and horrible people saying some disgusting stuff and thinking I'm on their side. I am not. I wasn't aware on her stance on of her model. After seeing this tweet, I apologized in private and deleted the original tweet where I drew of her model, but she retweeted your post anyways. It's from my Safe for Work account. It's spicy, but clearly a pinup / not and not the one she's talking about. But she said she doesn't like NSFW, that clearly counts. She elaborates that she dislikes of her stuff, not spicy art. But rule 34, if it exists, there's it. True, but it's her model and her rules. I don't want to be the type of person that draws someone's OC out of spite. Seeing my name on fucking ChibiReviews was the last straw. I'd appreciate if everyone would just move on with their day as I have, like, this morning. So this person does not say that she asked him or her to remove it. So I don't see anything wrong with this really, that's a fucking W for aesthetic meme or meme poster removing it when they found out that this person has boundaries. When they found out that Deme has boundaries. It's a good thing. It's a good artist. I like them now. Chibi also says that Deme was shitting on this artist. I saw that nowhere. I saw no screenshots of that. I saw no tweets of that. Could they have been deleted? Sure. But I didn't see that anywhere. From what the artist said, they saw her tweet saying that she did not like of her model, and they decided to take it down and apologized in private. There's nothing wrong with any of that. Okay. Something that he also kind of goes off on a tangent about is that she had apparently been stabbed by her boyfriend and then got back with him. Now, something that you need to understand about abusive relationships is that it's not easy to leave, regardless of what happened. I have been in abusive relationships before. It is hard. It is scary. And I did not personally leave. I was told to leave. Great thing on my part. Like, great thing for me. I'm in a much better place now. But being in that relationship, right? You are completely reliant on that person. Whether that be financially, emotionally, or potentially even afraid to leave. I was afraid to leave. I was completely alone in another state with no family, no friends, nothing. So when you are in a negative relationship like that, and that's all that you have, you in your mind, you have to stay. There is nothing else. There is no other option. So when it comes to that kind of stuff, I don't know her exact situation, but when it comes to that kind of stuff, it's not really fair to make a judgment on other people. And that goes for both of them. That goes for him calling her out for her abusive relationship, and that goes for her calling out him being cheated on. That is not something that they are to blame for. Okay, so he has responded to this tweet that she had made. Says sorry, not sorry. I just hate Chibi because he's a weirdo and will cheer on cheating because of it. Locks replies, treats me worse than the boyfriend that stabbed her in the leg that she's still with. Someone knows they're getting pushed back. Let's see, is that an accurate statement? I just hate Chibi because he's a weirdo and will cheer on cheating because of it. I do advocate mental health for women and men. I, however, do not care about Chibi. I made the mistake of saying the first thing that came out of my head when seeing his username, but I should have been the better person and not said anything. I've learned to hold my tongue in most things, but I legit got surprised seeing that username and the association with it. I'm sorry for what I said, especially that it was towards him. He's a piece of shit and everything about him is disgusting to me. Not because he got cheated on, because he's a weirdo in general. So no, that's not what she said. Not just because he's a weirdo. Everything about him is disgusting to me. So I'm not really sure of what that is because I don't know ChibiReviews' previous drama. I can kind of tell they're a little bit odd from their like what I'm seeing of them. This is the first that I have ever seen of ChibiReviews, and I have not really seen much from Deme. I have seen their model and I really like their model design, but that's about the most that I have seen from them. This other creator has also made a video that I'll take a look at. Oh, okay. So that video was essentially just stating that Deme is a hypocrite because she called this creator out when it comes to the cheating situation that they were in, but then she was upset when her relationship got spoken on. Kind of an immature response from both of them. It's really not right for either of them to do. It could have been a very easy, oh, you know, to clarify, I just don't really like this particular type of NSFW of my model, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But it kind of went nuclear based off of what she had said, and there were better ways to do it. So ChibiReviews comes back and says, Deme has now started to use fake tweet that was created to slander me when I was doxxed and got swatted by police. The fake tweet was created likely from this post I'm quoting. She's now doubling down on Kiwi Farm's rhetoric and lies to attack me. Shameful behavior. So this is this guy right here. She did update the tweet because she didn't want to spread misinformation. Sounds like she did not know it was a fake tweet and updated what she said. So what she had originally said, I don't know if these are going to be different, was that Chibi fans want to preach about men's mental health while making fun of a man's suicide attempt. I got slashed accidentally when I pulled the scissors away from my boyfriend, trying to save his life from a horrible decision. Their obsession with the cuck fantasy also checks out. I had no idea that ChibiReviews tried to take his own life, and I don't wish that upon anyone. As I said before, I don't care about the guy in general. I'm not gonna apologize to a guy who dated a teen when he's pushing 30, scammed his fan of thousands of dollars of a lawsuit that never happened. Never in my life have I heard of people siding with a cheating future wife in any scenario. Yeah, I'm not surprised the guy doesn't understand boundaries / consent. If you want to hate me through how I speak and carry myself, fair game. However, if you're going to always complain about harassment on Twitter and cause harassment on me getting physically harmed, it makes zero sense. Anyways, I'm gonna continue my Japan trip. Yeah, she didn't change the tweet from what I see here. I think this is valid. She clarified. She also fixed the misinformation part. I don't necessarily disagree with how she responded to things after her initial response. She is protecting herself and she is trying to correct the things that she has said. Her initial response on talking about him being cheated on was not fair, and I think that in a way she is feeling the consequences for what she has said. And that is the last of what she has talked about. This is him talking about how she remove every negative comment. I'm gonna be so for real. These are the exact same tweets. Am I missing something? Now edited her tweet to remove every negative comment and push back. She removed the misinformation. Yes, of course, as she should. This has nothing to do with removing negative comments. It's correcting something that she had said incorrectly. There's nothing wrong with that. He believes he has not literally, a superpower to make people expose their true personality with a mask off moment. I mean, if you're gonna poke and prod at people and make them angry, they're not going to be happy with you. Yes, that is correct. The last thing that has been posted, which was 45 minutes ago, is ChibiReviews retweeting this where somebody's accusing her of getting intimate on stream, which, I mean, if true, not something I would personally do. But additionally, what they're saying is that because she is bouncing, it looks like something is going on and she's having trouble reading. Here's the thing. You can just like move a little bit in your chair and you bounce. I'm literally just wiggling my chair back and forth. It's not that serious. It's really not. Yeah. I don't know. This is such like a nothing thing that became such a big thing because of bad responses and people trying to make it into a drama. Essentially, initial tweet was fine. There was nothing wrong with her saying that she doesn't want adult content of her model. Chibi calling her out, I mean, it's fair to ask the question when she had not clarified yet, but her response was not good. It was not a good response. She could have answered like an adult. She did not. He could have responded like an adult. He did not. And then it just kept going, and they keep finding little things. It's something that they should just stop. Just stop. Just stop tweeting. Stop it. Okay, this was not something that I was going to really touch on, but in some of those posts that I had seen, Deme has BPD. She has BPD. Something that I am very familiar with. My best friend has BPD. My best friend lives with me. I am my best friend's caretaker. Here's the thing. I don't like what they're saying at the end of this. So let's look at this. Deme, the VTuber, has BPD, borderline personality disorder. Okay, cool. It's something I have relatively intimate knowledge of, as my sister has BPD and I had a coworker whose wife has BPD. Cool. They have intense, rapidly shifting emotions with fear of abandonment along with huge defensive responses. They have the uncanny ability to always see themselves as the victim, no matter what the context is or the circumstances, and due to the impulsivity in their defense, they can become quite unhinged. So that's called splitting. Listen, someone with BPD already has to be in an emotionally heightened state to split. That is when that happens. My best friend personally, kind of in a way, blacks out during this. She does not remember what she says. She gets very, very defensive. She gets very, very scared. I have to stand and I have to logically explain things to her to bring her down. She does not do this often, and the majority of the time, she doesn't do this at all. She was off her medication for a short time, and now that she's back on it, she has not split since. Medication helps. Mood stabilizers help. Anxiety medication helps. It is not the end-all be-all. There is still emotions to process, but the medication can help you. It helps them have a buffer of time to process what they're feeling and to not impulsively react. It gives them the time to see the gray when BPD is a very black and white way of thinking. People with BPD also have solidly black and white thinking. Yes, this is what I was explaining. Seeing the world in a us versus them mentality, which is how she can justify her vile attack against Chibi. These people practically never take accountability, fault, or anything, often blaming everyone except themselves. Absolutely not. That is not true. That is not a BPD thing. That is a person-to-person basis. You cannot speak on Deme without knowing her and knowing the nuances of her trauma. That's not fair. My best friend blames everything on herself. Absolutely everything. All the time I have to tell her, hey, that's not your fault. It's just a thing that happened. It's okay. All the time. It's not the BPD. It is a person-to-person thing. Some people are going to be shitty people that have BPD, but it's not BPD. You cannot say every single person with BPD is a shitty person. That's not fair. They will frequently engage in DARVO, deny, attack, reverse victim, and offender. They will deny the wrongdoing and then attack the person raising the concern, often in a screaming, emotionally volatile tone, and then reverse the original instigator as the victim. No, that's not true. That's not true. It depends on you. If that's your experience with BPD, then that's fine, but that is not every single person. They can often mask their symptoms in a public setting for a while, often for many years, but after enough stressors mount, they crack and that mask slips off. Yeah, that's the splitting. She can blame it all on PMDD, premenstrual dysphoric disorder, all she wants, but her behavior is textbook BPD. The same kind of toxic behavior my sister displayed, and the same stories from my coworker with the BPD wife. Yeah, no, it's just those two people. This is not BPD thing. Some of the stories include ones like the BPD wife intentionally harming herself, often seriously enough to be hospitalized, only to blame it on the husband or even reframing it because the husband was emotionally abusive. Similarly, my sister has self-harmed on multiple occasions only to escape discipline from my parents for fear she might escalate. My sister's husband was also blamed for all the ruination and that he caused against her. So BPD is a disorder that you get from having a traumatic past, essentially. It's a coping mechanism. It is not it's not like a disease. You don't get BPD and then it causes you to act differently. When you go through those traumatic experiences, you develop BPD. Depending on the experiences that you had that caused it, it is a way for you to cope. So the way that those people cope is through harming themselves to de-escalate the situation, because that is the only way that they know how to deal with the situation. It's not going to be the same for every single person. So you can't really blame somebody like doing things. You can't really say that every single person that has BPD is going to act the same way, because they're not. The coworker and my sister's husband both shared the same phenotype, quiet, reserved, nice, and harmless, but you can tell behind all of it, they were deeply in love, but also deeply scared of their spouse, not knowing when the next blow-up is going to be. No. No, that's not true. I absolutely know when my best friend is going to blow up, and I know how to de-escalate that. There are 1000% signs. You know. And it sounds like something within those relationships may have been part of the causation of the splitting. I do not know the situation, so I'm not going to actively judge, but it sounds like that might be what happened there. I can say from personal experience, I have never been afraid of my best friend. She is incredibly funny. She is incredibly smart. She is outgoing, funny, witty. That is who she is. She's not some, like, hermited sociopath. She has trauma, and that's okay. It happens, and it's not her fault. She has these coping mechanisms because of how her childhood was. She only knows how to cope with things a certain way, and through therapy, through me helping her, she is learning how to navigate these feelings. She's learning how to see the gray and not just the black and white. There's absolutely ways for people with BPD to improve. There are ways for them to, through medication especially, is helpful for her to go about their lives and live happily. The Sims for women with BPD can be just as toxic, as their pull during the good moments can be legitimately magnetic, and they form strong parasocial bonds with creators such as her. People with BPD, when they are happy, are very charismatic, charming, and very warm, almost a complete mirror reverse of the depth of their toxic downward spiral. The Sims become blinded by her toxic nature, reinforced her DARVO attacks, and so many idealized women with mental illnesses. That crazy chick is the trope that so many of the simp economy is catered to. I would never. I'm sure that some people with BPD are like that. But that goes for like just any person. You know, you don't necessarily have to have BPD to be that crazy chick. TLDR, stay away from people with BPD. They are dangerous and will often ruin your life, even through parasocial lens, and treatment often has limited success. No, that's not true. A lot of people with BPD have a higher risk of self-harm, and they do not make it past their 30s. Rather, are at a higher risk of not making it past their 30s. My best friend has made it past her 30s. We're going to keep it that way. She is absolutely not dangerous and has improved my life in many ways. She helps me a lot, just like I like to help her. Yeah, no, she's definitely getting treatment and it is definitely working. So, home dog. No. So, this is a tweet. This is the tweet that they're like going off of this for. Something from 2023 where Deme says, I have BPD. I'd like to apologize for sometimes in a way sabotaging my own growth on Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok. I'm not good with change, so when chat starts to be different, I kind of freak out mentally. Trying my best to be better. Much love.